Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time to talk about the top 10 rarest skins in the game, but updated for 2019. That is right guys, as you know it is the new year, so I thought it would be a fun idea to update this sort of like rarest skin list, because there's been a lot of changes to skins and things. Some skins have re-released, like for example the Ghoul Trooper was one of the rarest skins in the game, and now it's not, so that is not going to be on this list, but instead some other ones are going to take its place. So it's going to be a very interesting video guys. Definitely watch and like play along, maybe try and guess which ones are going to be coming up or stuff like that. And I also want to say that Renegade Raider is not number 1. I know a lot of you thought that one would be, but personally I kind of think it might be this other skin. Now also guys, be sure to hit that like button down below and comment which skin do you think is better, Ragnarok or Dire. Those are both some recent tier 100 skins and they're not in the rarest list video, but I'm curious to see which one you guys prefer. Now without further ado here, let's jump into it. First of all, with some honorable mentions. There's definitely a lot of skins that still are pretty rare, but they couldn't make it into the top 10. And like for example here, starting out the honorable mentions, Havoc from the Twitch Prime Pack, the first Twitch Prime Pack to be specific. But yeah, this skin is still pretty rare because it was released so long ago. As you guys may remember, it was part of that like Twitch Prime promotion from way back when, but the skin that came with it was Havoc. And I do want to clarify, when I talk about these promotions or these bundles, I'm not sponsored to talk about any of those. I'm just including the skins from them in this list because, well, the bundles and special promotions do happen to make certain skins, you know, relatively rare, and we're merely just going over the info about this stuff and mostly the skins. So yeah, again, I'm not sponsored to talk about any of those promotions or bundles, but they do make for some rare skins, and Havoc happens to be one of those sort of rarer skins. And honestly, it's a pretty cool skin. I use it once in a while. It's nothing like crazy, but it's a pretty solid skin. Now on top of that, you could also add in the other Twitch Prime packs, but since those were more recent, they're a little bit less rare than Havoc, I would think, or maybe they're just on the same scale. But you also have Sub Commander, which is this skin right here. This one was pretty simple as well. It wasn't anything too, you know, unique. But then you also have the skin Trailblazer as well, which all around they honestly were some pretty solid skins, and I happen to have all of them, so I'm happy with that. But on top of that, speaking of which, you also have the Galaxy skin, which I know this one could have made it into the top 10, but I felt like putting it in the honorable mentions because it's kind of confusing how rare this skin actually is. As you guys know, it's part of that Samsung promotion, but honestly I see this skin quite a bit in game, so it's hard to say just how rare it is. So for this video, we're not going to put it into the top 10, but I would say it is still a pretty rare skin. But yeah, on top of that, for the final honorable mentions, these are a few skins from Season 2, specifically the Season 2 Battle Pass. But as you know, that Battle Pass had a few interesting skins. You had the Blue Squire, the Royale Knight, and also Sparkle Specialist, which I think deserve some honorable mentions because they were from Season 2, which was a long time ago, but they're still not super rare because it was in the Battle Pass, and they were, you know, not that hard to reach in the Battle Pass, but there's still some cool ones, and there's some pretty OG skins, to be honest. But yeah guys, so let's go ahead and jump into it with the official top 10 here. And again, this is just my personal way of ordering them. Your top 10 may be different, but if you think some of them should switch places, be sure to leave a comment down below. But like the first of which here might come as a surprise to you, but I think Wildcard deserves a spot on the top 10 rarest skins list. Now the reason I say that is because I'm pretty sure this skin has not released since the high stakes event, and that event was around like early September, so it has been a while since this one was in the item shop. On top of that, it was also a 2000 V-Bucks legendary skin, but you know, having it at 2000 V-Bucks meant it was higher up on the V-Bucks price. So yeah, altogether I really haven't seen this skin since the event, so it's not like it's super rare, but I still feel it's kind of rare, at least nowadays. But moving on here to number 9, this is where we start to get into some of the crazy rare skins, and this one I still had to include on this list, but it is the Royale Bomber. Now this skin, as you may know, the reason that it is rare is because it is part of like some PS4 bundle type stuff. And again, not sponsored to talk about any of these bundles or stuff, but like for example for this one, it does make for a fairly unique skin that you don't see in game that often. I believe it originally released with like a PS4 console bundle, and then later released with like a controller bundle. So with that being said, it's not like one of the rarest skins from a bundle, but it does still seem pretty rare. I don't think I've ever seen this one in game, maybe once, but I'm really not sure. Maybe I haven't. Comment down below if you guys have seen this skin in game, but personally I don't think I have. So all of that together, that's why I think it deserves a spot on this list. But moving on to number 8 here, and this one in number 9, like considering the spots I put them in, I could maybe, you know, switch them up. I feel like they're pretty close. This one is a fairly unique one as well, and it is Omega. Now I know what you're you're thinking, Omega isn't that rare. It was pretty easy to unlock in the battle pass for it, where you had to get to tier 100. I mean, that's all you had to do to unlock it, right? Well, specifically for this one, I'm talking about Omega with the custom lights. Those are the custom ones with like purple, green, stuff like that. Honestly, such a cool addition to this skin. Really makes it like super unique and pop out, but they are definitely pretty rare. Now, if you weren't around for this season when Omega was, you know, a part of the battle pass, the only way to unlock the Omega lights was to get like a ton of XP. I don't remember the exact amount, but I do remember that it was a crazy grind to get this XP. Like, I remember playing a ton to unlock these, and I barely made it. I had like a day to spare or something like that, and a lot of people didn't make it because, you know, it did require a lot of XP to get there. So that's why I think it deserves a spot on this list. And I mean, it is just a super cool one, but it's also a battle pass skin, so it's never going to re-release again. But speaking of battle pass skins, let's move on to the next one here, which had to be on the list. I mean, it was pretty obvious, but that is the Black Knight. This one, you know, it had to be. It was part of the Season 2 Battle Pass, but it wasn't really as easy to get as with the other top tier skins in the Battle Passes to follow. This was actually at tier 70, but it was a little bit weird how you had to unlock it. If I remember correctly, you didn't have like the weekly challenges back then. Instead, you had like daily challenges, so you did have to log on most of the days of the season in order to end up getting to this skin. Now, it wasn't like crazy difficult to get to it, but with the way that it was set up, some people did miss out on it if they didn't play consistently. On top of that, again, it was part of Season 2, which was a long time ago, so all of that together does make it one of the rarer skins in the game. You still see it quite a bit, but I definitely think it deserves its spot here. Now, after that, then I think we have sort of an interesting one here, and maybe you know what it is, but it is Codename Elf. That is right, guys. I had to put it here because I'm really surprised as of right now that it hasn't re-released. And who knows, maybe after I make this video, like a few days later, it does re-release, but as of right now, as of when I'm making this video, it hasn't re-released, which is definitely a big surprise because I'm pretty sure, isn't it the only skin that released in holidays of 2017 that didn't re-release this time around with like 14 days of Fortnite in 2018, and now obviously it's 2019 since the holidays are late in the year. But yeah, it is kind of like really surprising that this one hasn't re-released yet because it was like one of the main skins in the trailer. But either way, with that being said, it is pretty rare overall now, since, you know, it's been like over a year since it released the first time around. But yeah, guys, keeping it going here with another skin that's in a very similar situation to Codename Elf, but I think it's a little bit more rare simply because it is the Ghoul Trooper, which, as you guys know, was released in Halloween 2017, and then for Halloween 2018 it didn't re-release as well. Instead, we did get Skull Trooper, which re-released, but Ghoul Trooper is still yet to be seen again in the item shop, and I think this one's fair to say that it should be a little bit more rare because it did release a bit before Codename Elf did. But still, this one was surprising as well that it didn't re-release. Are we ever going to see this skin come back into the item shop? I'm really not sure, but I do think it deserves a spot on the rarest of skins list because, I mean, you do rarely see this one in game. And what do you guys think? Do you think they're maybe saving these for like next Halloween, next Christmas and holidays and stuff like that to maybe have like a big reappearance of the skins in the future? Obviously, we have no idea yet, but it is interesting that they left out, especially Codename Elf, because of all the holiday skins that they did decide to re-release, like Merry Marauder and things like that. Either way, though, pretty interesting overall, but let's jump into it with the next ones on this list. And I say multiple because I felt like these two deserve to be at the same spot. I felt like they were fairly similar because they are the Eon skin and also the Double Helix skin. Now, both of these are from console bundles, except Eon is obviously for the Xbox One bundle and Double Helix is for the Nintendo Switch bundle. Now, obviously, these ones are bound to be pretty rare because they are a part of the bundles, and those bundles aren't cheap to get. But yeah, like for the Eon skin, I do find it interesting that the Eon is actually a legendary and Double Helix is an epic rarity skin. Personally, I'm not sure which I prefer, but I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Which one of these do you prefer, Double Helix or Eon? Comment that down below, but they are definitely some very interesting skins, that is for sure. But then for the top three, guys, these are honestly all pretty close and pretty interchangeable, but they're still overall like some of the rarest skins in the game, I feel like. And for the number 3 spot, this one had to be the Aerial Assault Trooper. Now, this skin you don't really see a lot, but oddly enough, I think I actually saw this skin in game the other day, somebody using it. But yeah, this skin is pretty rare because it was part of the Season 1 like shop, and let's put shop in quotation marks because that whole thing was a bit confusing on how it worked. But I'm pretty sure, and again, if you don't remember, the way that I think it worked back then 10 is you actually had to rank up, and then you would just unlock the ability to buy some of these skins with V-Bucks. Now, the Aerial Assault Trooper was 1200 V-Bucks, but again, you had to rank up in order to get there. It was also early in Fortnite, and on top of that, the skin hasn't re-released since. So overall, guys, it's definitely one of the most rare skins in the game, but it's not quite as rare, I feel like, as Renegade Raider. Now, these skins are definitely pretty close because they're in the same situation pretty much. Renegade Raider was also in that Season 1 shop, but specifically for Renegade Raider, you had to rank up a little bit more in order to unlock the ability to get this skin. This one was also 1200 V-Bucks, I believe. But yeah, since you did have to rank up a little bit more, I think it's just slightly more rare than the Aerial Assault Trooper, but it's widely known as one of the most rare skins in the game. It's unknown if it will ever re-release because it was technically a part of the season shop, but either way, as of right now, it is definitely pretty rare. Now, for the number 1 spot, I decided to put this one here because I do feel like it is pretty rare, since I've seen a few Renegade Raiders in game, but I don't think I've ever seen this skin. Now, the skin that I'm talking about here is Reflex. Now, this one was recently released as a part of a GeForce promotion and bundle. I think that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, it was a part of a bundle for certain graphics cards. Not all of their graphics cards, only a few of them. But yeah, this skin is specifically for their GeForce Fortnite bundle. But with that being said, it does make this skin fairly rare because, you know, graphics cards overall, they aren't cheap either. But I just think that it's more rare than Renegade Raider, simply because, you know, this one is part of a bundle, whereas Renegade Raider, it was in-game as just, you know, part of the season shop. So, you know, you sort of have to weigh those things. That's why these are close together. But either way, I still think this skin is one of the rarer ones in the game. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for my list. Again, some of those could be interchangeable, and it's probably going to change in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more fun Fortnite videos coming out soon. On top of that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, going over some update news, and then on the right, my Week 6 challenges guide. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.